was at a church. You don't remember when I said that?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's like that's top, and I'm not proud of that at all. Like this is just a question I was asked, and it's my duty to answer. So it was at a church, and I'll tell you exactly what happened, man. Like I was at a late night revival. If you guys don't know, if you never grew up in like a church home, or they used to have like these overnight revivals, and basically all they was doing this night in the actual sanctuary, they had like, this is so long ago, I'm gonna show my age, but I can't even tell you what movie it was that they was playing. It was a cartoon movie, because there was kids of all ages in there, but we were all the youth. So wasn't nobody 18. Everybody was, I would say the youngest was probably like 8, and the oldest was probably like 17. You know what I mean?
He was probably playing VeggieTales. If he was at church, they was probably playing VeggieTales.
They probably was playing VeggieTales. Yeah.
When they'd send us off at church, they'd play VeggieTales.
Now that I think about it, bro, I think it was, or it might have been that chicken. I remember like a cartoon with like chickens in it. I don't know, but either way, my homeboy, I'm not gonna say your name either. Matter of fact, you ain't married. I'm gonna go ahead and say your name. We just gonna call you Lo. So me and my homeboy Lo was in there, and this girl that put it on me, bro. Like she put it on me in the church, but I had already invited her to the church because I was already smashing her. Mm-hmm. Like me and her went to the same high school. She was a straight freak. Like she probably was one of the. Before I was grown, before I was 21, she probably was the freakiest girl I had ever been with. Mm-hmm. And so, like, she was turning me out. Like, not doing no gay stuff or nothing like that, but she was turning me out. So, for whatever reason, she found her way to this church, and it was my church home that I went to. I went to this church every Sunday, faithfully. Mm-hmm. But I remember we ended up in another room in the church. We weren't even in the sanctuary at this point. And me and my homeboy Lo was like taking turns with her. I took one turn, he finished it off. Nah, no Edward Scissorhand type of stuff. We weren't playing no lightsaber duty or nothing like that.
This setting right now?
Yeah, it was crazy. And I feel, and I've asked the Lord to forgive me for my sins so much. I don't really reflect on that anymore because I was so young and dumb and just was, horny.
Look, I'm going to just say
that's the craziest place I had sex at.
Let me say this, all right?
I don't even know if I had intercourse. I know for a fact I got some time.
2023, if God can put a baby inside of Mary without consent from both parties, y'all should be able to get freaky up in the church, y'all.
All right.
Just kidding. Hey, I have never done anything inside of a church. I will say that. The church parking lot is a different story.
Yeah.
I don't know. Crazy places.
Craziest place.
Craziest place. I don't know where to top your church story because I'm not a sinner like that. Let's see. Craziest. Let's see. I did a church parking lot. I got head in the office at Amazon when I worked there. Fucked so many times in the Amazon parking lot, it's not even funny. I fucked in a bathroom at a bar.
Okay.
That was unintentional. It was actually unintentional, like 100%. I actually, my good buddy Cortez, we had, you know the term Eskimo Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. So we had this chick in our unit, and everybody was smashing her. She was skinny.
So now it's my turn to smash.
No, actually, she was skinny and huge knockers, right? Mm-hmm. So we all went out and we're all going to this bar, and my buddy Cortez, he is hammered, and so he's asking me for advice. I'm like, I don't know, go ask her to dance. I guess they're playing, because they had kind of like your setup where it's like you just go over and you type in the song you want to play.
Okay.
And so I was like, just go ask her to dance. So he goes over there and he comes over and he's like, she said no. And I'm like,
the Cortez dude?
Yeah. Hey man, I love you, bro. I love you.
Yeah, because you sound like a square right now.
He was still young in the game. Right?
Okay.
This was back in like 2013. Mm-hmm. 2013, 2014.
She can dance with me, bro.
So he walks off, and then she comes up to me. And she's like, he keeps asking me for a kiss. And I'm like, what?
Wow, Cortez.
And so I was like, nah, bro, nah. I'm like, he keeps okay, I guess. And so
hopefully she was telling the truth, but if she is,
don't
that's
know.
crazy.
But and so
everybody's smashing and he wants to kiss me.
and so she's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, I'm not a woman. I don't give a fuck. I don't go to the bathroom. That's a woman thing. Bye. Sorry if that sounds misogynistic. Hey, look, misogyny wasn't a word when I grew up, boy.
She wants to
So she's like, will you walk with me? Because I don't want him to mess with me. I'm like, all right. So we go over. And so the bar, how it was set up was like, yeah, the dance floor right there. And then so the door was in the back. Yeah, the door was in the back and you hook a right and it's a female bathroom, the men's bathroom. So I walk over there. She goes in the bathroom. I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Let me go see if I gotta go take a leak. So I go over there. I don't. As I'm walking back, this arm comes out of the bathroom and yanks me into the women's bathroom. And next thing I know, I blink. I go from the hallway into a fucking stall. Mm-hmm. And she looks at me and she goes, fuck me. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. And she, dead ass, whips up her skirt. Oh, and the thing. And I'm like,
duty calls.
all right. So I'm going at it. My boy McDonald, he comes up and he's like, hey, what y'all doing in there? So we roll out, and it's funny because like I had to think about it. Every altercation I had with this chick, I never initiated. She always did. Because I was like, nah, I ain't smashing her. Everybody else is running through her. I'm good. Mm-hmm. The very first time this shit happened was she got super wasted at a bar. I'm like, all right, well, I'm about to head back, so I'll take her back. I take her back.
Smash session.
I didn't even plan on that shit. Mm. She's wasted. She's over here. She's cussing at the gate guard because her badge isn't working. I'm like, hey, sorry. Hey, she's really wasted. I'm going to take her up. Sorry. So I get her up to her room. I lay her in the bed. I go grab her trash can out the bathroom, dead ass, and I sit next to her. And I'm walking out the door. I get to the door. I put my hand on the fucking handle. She's like, Thornton. I'm like, what's up? This shorty was ass naked. She's like, come here. I'm like, well, and so yeah, that's what happened.
At her place?
In the bees, in her room, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that the time where me, her, and Cortez, we all had like this big ass argument, and this argument was squashed, and we're going back to and we're stationed at Bragg. Cortez, oddly enough, his room was across from hers. So we're walking.
Oh, so Cortez, he's liked her for a long time, probably.
Yeah. He was virgin. She was like the first one. We got super wasted, and I convinced her to let him smash because he lost his virginity through a red light chick. I was like, shit, and I was like, bro, you want to get some? He needs to get some.
Shannon.
Yeah.
Shannon's
on me, and she's the homie.
Yeah. Shout out to Shannon.
And so we're walking in. And it's Cortez, me, and then her. And so Cortez is at the door, and I'm like, it's too fucking late. Nobody else is awake. Me and her have already smashed a few times. I promise you, she's on some bullshit. I'm like, Cortez, open the fucking door. I'm like, please, open the door. I'm tired. I want to go to my room. Open the door. He's fumbling with the key. He opens the door, and as he opens the door, she fucking snakes her way in between me and him, pushes him in the door, and is like, good night. Shuts the door, already has her door open, and drags me in that mug. And I'm like, God damn. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But, I had to do what I had to do.
Yeah. You know
what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and end the story with, I left. No.
I finished the job.
No, hey, look.
Something had to be done. All right, so, we're going to move on.
That's fine.
Is there an age limit on having enemies? For these street niggas.
Define enemy.
Is there an age limit on having ops? So, ops is different than enemies, I think. I think, personally, for me, just at where I'm at in life right now, not in the streets no more. I haven't been in the streets in 15 years. So, enemies. I don't have such thing. There cannot possibly be an enemy in my life. The only enemy in my life would be like negative energy. It's not going to be like a person.
Yeah.
But if I had to sit here and say like the example of an enemy, it would be like someone who, it would have to be a person, and it would have to be somebody who's like, for example, if I had kids, somebody that's putting them in danger, or
so basically, to sum it up for those of you that
somebody that's defecting my life,
not in the streets. So for enemy, you're defining it essentially as a kind of like a Tom and Jerry, so like on site type stuff. And you said, what's the
age limit?
Age limit?
Like if you passed all of that, you passed all of that. But if you're not, if you still got a little problem with you upstairs a little bit, somebody might piss you off. Like, and I'm saying like you could definitely be one of those people who can get offended, but you're not going to take it any further than what it needs to be. So we may not even be talking about you. This could just be in general.
I feel like the question's kind of hard. I feel like the better question would probably be like, what do you feel like is an appropriate age to kind of just let that shit go?
Yeah, we can go with that.
And I feel like,
what's the age limit on letting shit go?
If I had to say, I would say this. I think that there's really nobody on this planet that's worth giving that much energy to. Now, with that being said, and I would honestly say, guys, realistically, being generous, I'd say probably, being realistic, I would say 25. I think 25 is at the point that you really should probably start letting go of whatever your little pet peeves are, whatever things are that set you off, or anything like that. It's not worth it. At that point, even if you still live at home with your parents, you're considered grown. So I feel like 25 is good for you to just, especially today. People ain't fighting no more.
Right, exactly.
So, you know what? Matter of fact, with that in mind, honestly, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. People are not fighting anymore. Y'all not fighting out here anymore.
Yeah, it's ugly. Women, no offense to y'all, but I don't feel like y'all letting a lot of stuff go at all, especially like the women that I've grown up around and still tend to talk to. I've seen women who are my color, 45 years old, still like not letting stuff go. Honey, we got to do a little bit better. You're a work in progress. We love y'all, but yeah, at the end of the day, like you basically was saying, I think you were saying 25 is a good age. I would agree.
Yeah.
If you come from...
That's for men. Ladies, ladies, you guys are your own entity. I'm going to put it like this. Women, I feel like for them, it's probably less of an age thing and more of a emotional thing. I feel like a good, mature woman has a decent handle on her emotions. Being able to think more rationally as opposed to...
He calling them.
Who? Austin?
What up? What you doing, man? I called you. Oh, okay. I don't know what the hell that is. Quick question, man. I ain't gonna hold you too long, man, because we are live.
Bumfuck Egypt.
Tevin's up here. What's up?
What's up, Austin?
Hey, Austin. Real quick. Would you rather have a gay son or a slut daughter? Think, like, don't just answer. Think hard about this. Would you rather have a gay son or slutty whore?
You have to realize something. He has to think hard because he has a kid. He has to think hard.
I know. That's why this is why I set this up for him.
Hey, especially if you believe in manifestation, you better think real hard about this. There you go.
Come on, man. Are you serious? You're supposed to. I'll just play with
I think that's a good answer.
I
think in this day and age, I think that hyperfixating on whether you don't want your son taking D in the A or you don't want your daughter taking a bunch of D. Realistically, you shouldn't even know that for real. if you know that your kid's out here getting freak nasty, you and your kid got too close of a relationship. I'm just saying.
All right, so real quick, Austin, we appreciate that answer, sir. Are you with your lady right now? All right, make sure you tell her, everybody here from the Out the Way podcast, we said hello, beautiful, and enjoy your day. One more question before we let you go. Craziest place you had sex? No, I'm just kidding. Right on.
Under the bridge or in a car? Under the bridge. Yo, you wild.
Like, no hesitation on that answer. I shout out to you. That's what's up. Hey, so look.
Beautiful.
So look, before we wrap this up, man, I ain't got no more questions, but bro, I want you to stop by here next week so we can do this for real. I want to get you on the next episode. I got a couple more chairs down here. One's for you for sure. I'm gonna try to get a Dee or Deidre or whatever she goes by up in here too, so we can have a female. Or if you know another female that's down with it. And we just gonna talk about, it ain't gonna be topics like this, but it'll be fun. You know what I mean? I'll probably get some pizza or something like that, and we'll talk about it later. Thanks for calling in though, bro. All right. Yeah, so back to what we were talking about, the age limit. I wanted to quickly talk about, like, street niggas. I'm not obsessed with street niggas or anything, but what I will say is street cats, street niggas, street dudes, street lords, whatever you want to refer them to, them niggas ain't letting nothing go before they're like sitting down in jail. Probably 40 years old if they make it to 40, but if not, they're not letting nothing go until they're sitting down for it, because it always seems like, and no offense to none of y'all, I grew up with a lot of y'all. I love some of y'all from my past. Some of y'all, a lot of y'all dead, but it just, some of the toughest dudes that I rubbed shoulders with, they didn't figure it out until they sat their ass down in prison, or somebody died, or a few people died. So when it comes to them, as far as like, is there an age limit on not having enemies or having an op? You gotta understand, they go too much about the rules and the culture.
It's not, actually I disagree. I don't think it's about the rules. I think it's about respect.
Yeah. Well, that plays in it. That plays, I think.
I would say, in a sense, yeah, but I feel like respect is more, especially now, respect's more of a thing than rules. Simply because, which I don't know, because look, y'all can tell I don't look and sound like I came from the streets. But I will say this, growing up we did dumb shit. And just the old heads that I grew up around, and put it like this, if you came correct, you was good. But it seems like a lot of today, it's a lot of these younger people, early 20s, that, they take disrespect to equate that to a death sentence. Or you have people trying to make a name. And it's also snitching, man.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm gonna keep it real. I've never been like one of the hardcore, like, oh, snitching. Look. But people be out here straight dry snitching on themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's wild.
That's the whole social media attention aspect of it all.
Yeah, you trying to get paid.
Did you see them kids that was on, I think they was in Florida, all three of them, they've gotten caught up since then, but they went live and all had their guns pointed at this kid sitting in the front. They were all in the back seat of this car, but this kid was in the front seat, and they go live, and like three of them got their barrels on his forehead, all on his face, taunting him and stuff. Didn't shoot him or anything like that. They all went to jail like 3 days later.
Good.
Because they're all like on the internet exposing what they want to do.
Good.
Exposing this gangster lifestyle.
I think, because what's funny is on Snapchat they actually have, there's a podcast on there that like interviews O-Block, Bloods, Crips, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I forget what you.
And when you look at it and you actually listen to what they're saying, when you listen to them talk about people that got hit, what was it? Takeoff, Nip, all of them. And like these people, they all came in. They should have left the way they came, untouched. Mm-hmm. It's like it's all these young cats out here. They're trying to make a name for themselves. It's like, I'm put like this. We have a lot of people that focus so hard on the system, that they want to just blame everything on the system.
Ain't about that no more.
And it's not entirely.
Not entirely.
But it's so easy to get washed up in that. And I know from experience, because I did that. I literally did it to my fiance when it came to when I wanted to look at my credit, and I was like, it makes no sense to me that you're getting approved for these credit cards and I can't get approved for nothing. And it was like, when I sat down and thought about it, I was like, it had nothing to do with that. Yeah. I got repossessions on my shit and all this other stuff because of decisions that I was made. So it's funny when people will talk about generational wealth. I feel like, and I don't know why I just thought of this, but I feel like what we also need to be talking about is generational knowledge, because a lot of this stuff equates from a past that our grandparents, our great parents grew up in, and it's the same for everybody. And it's like, we can sit here and have a debate on whether slavery was super long ago or whether it wasn't. The fact of the matter is that whether slavery was long ago or not, racism is very, very, very recent. It's still happening. People are still experiencing it. And so people growing up when it was legally acceptable to do worse than just, calling you the N-word. You know what I'm saying? That's a mentality that's ingrained in people. And that's why I always laugh when people are like, well, I think in 40 years there's going to be a split between black and white and all the races. No, it's not. In 40 or 50 years, all the people that were alive during that racist time are going to be dead. And it's going to be a whole different fucking ballpark out here.
Well, not only that, a lot of, in 40 years, I'd say, I ain't going to say 40 because, 40 is not a long time.
It's not. But if you think about the changes that we've experienced in our lifetime, you do know, but actually you probably, I didn't know this, so I'm not going to say you probably don't. You actually are probably well informed with your podcast and everything. Did you know that up until 1961, it was illegal for interracial couples?
Yeah.
By law?
Not the exact year, but I've heard of that.
1961, it was a black woman and a white man that tried to get married, and they were sent to prison for a year before the Supreme Court would see them.
Here, this is what I was saying was, for example, in 100 years, if you go look it up now, there's more black babies being born than white by the state every year. Okay. So in like 100 years, there's going to be more mixed children that will be grown, and then they're just going to keep having, it's just like, it's to the point now where white people in America, they're still the majority, but they're soon to be the minority. I would say probably over.
I think that at the end of the day,
200 years.
This is what we need to realize. It's not just fucking black and white, right?
Yeah.
These are Americanized fucking terms, and it's crazy. Like, what is your ethnicity? Most black people don't even know.
Yeah.
But ancestry. I see you on your bullshit. They're trying to charge you $99 to do that. I will do it eventually.
They got African ancestry too, but I don't know if I trust either one of those.
Yeah, well,
it'll tell you a little something.
Yeah, I just want to see. But it's like it's always just black and white, black and white, black and white. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? Hey, you know what? The deciding thing for me was, for the longest time when everybody was saying that all cops were racist, it was just all racist white cops. Mm-hmm. And then the old boy that got beat to death by the 5 cops in Detroit.
Yeah, the 5 black cops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was like, so. I'm like, and when I was reading it, I'm like, yo, this sounds like, if I'm being real, this sounds literally like it was a group of niggas that was like, hey, man, this motherfucker let him on the wrong spot. Mm-hmm. It really does. That's what it sounds like, because 5 niggas jumped one dude.
But see, what all that bottles down to me is media. The way that news stations, the way that newspapers, and the way that media covers all of that type of stuff, that's where they try to because I could tell how you reacted to it. That's how they try to pull us and make us a little confused when really in all reality and I'm probably gonna get some backlash from this, but not a lot of people watch my podcast anyway. But I don't feel like I know from experience Like, black people have been more prejudiced to me, and I'm black, than anyone. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the deal. If there's people of other ethnicities that are racist towards me or prejudiced towards me, cool. They're not gonna come to my face with it.
Yeah, they're not.
They're probably behind closed doors with it, under their mouth with it. The most disrespect I've gotten from anyone, hands down, has looked like me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not tripping off of it. It comes with being a human, I guess. But that's another conversation, because I mean, it has to deal with how our ancestors got here, all the types of stuff that we've been through, all the way back to Jim Crow and just segregation and stuff you were just talking about with interracial relationships. It's different. And then you gotta take in the fact that in the 80s, because that's more of our era where we grew up. I know I was born in 85.
90s baby here.
Grew up in the 90s. So I feel like I'm a 90s baby, even though I was born in 85, I grew up in the 90s.
Mm.
All I can say is that, like, I grew up in the era after crack hit the neighborhoods, and it didn't really affect me because I was so young, but it definitely affected the people that looked like me. So when they took the fathers out the houses because the mothers could get WIC and get food stamps and all of that. I mean, it just
the backlash for that one.
Yeah, it just divided the family. You know what I mean? So it's to the point now where in America, I ain't even gonna say America, I'll say the whole world.
I'd say
the beauty standard for a woman isn't a dark woman. It isn't a black woman, unless she's a specific light-skinned tone. You could go down in Haiti right now. You can go down to certain countries in Africa. You'll find women bleaching their skin so they could be lighter. It just is what it is. I remember back when I wanted to be Nelly or be the hottest rapper back in 2000. All the women in the videos was not just light-skinned women.
Hey.
They was women of all colors. And now women aren't wearing their natural hair. You'll find some of them wearing their natural hair.
Hey, look, it's 2023, y'all. Look, start watching anime, okay? The reason why I say that is because I promise you, it's so interesting. Now, what you said, I've seen that, and I've heard that a lot too. It's crazy, and I think the weirdest thing that I've ever heard leave somebody's mouth, not yours or not anybody in my immediate vicinity. I believe I saw it on probably some internet shit, so I don't know if it was real or not. But it was kind of like a survey of black people that said that have they ever wished they weren't black? And I'm like,
I have before. I have.
Why?
I wished I wasn't black years ago because of the feeling that I got, the feelings and emotions that came over me that I couldn't control at a younger age. And it was just at one moment in time. It wasn't like, oh, get me out of this body now. It just was certain moments and predicament scenarios. Like, if I could give an example, and it wasn't even something that I really, really, really wanted, but I think it had to deal with school or something. And I had just graduated school. I remember I went to this little trade school for collision repair. And I had to have my tool chest, huge ass tool chest, full of tools and stuff. I had to have it by the third week of the class. And I couldn't get it because my grandma couldn't afford it. And I remember just saying, like, man, I wish I was white. To get that, bro. It was like, I know other people probably say it for deeper stuff, but that was like what I said.
Yeah, okay. So,
thinking that maybe she'll have some more money or we came from some kind of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's, and again, even at that age, that's portrayed in movies and all this other shit that people watch. No, never once. And what's crazy is, which is actually super funny, when I think about the amount of people, and I hate that I bring it to this, but it's always funny to me. The amount of people that put me in the same category as these other black dudes that hate black women and all that, and I'm like, You know, growing up, my entire life, if I think about the people that have fucked me over the most,
Niggas.
yeah. And I'm saying, no, I'm not talking about family and all that. I'm talking about,
Niggas.
like, so for example, when I joined the military, right? When I rented that car out in Germany, my boy was supposed to drive, and he ended up ditching us for some ass.
Ooh.
And so I ended up having to drive back, and I got stopped at the checkpoint. Here's the crazy part. The German police, they didn't do anything. My unit, my Command Sergeant Major Kirkland, if you see this, fuck you. He immediately came back.
Dang.
They waited 3 months. The day I was supposed to get promoted, they demoted me, and they gave me 30 and 30. My boy Grantham, I still say you're my boy even though you fucked me over. My boy Grantham comes up and he's like, "Hey man, I need you to tell him that I wasn't drinking." I'm like, "Motherfucker, my career's about to be over. Why would I lie for you?" He got mad at me for that. He got 15 and 15. I got 30 and 30. After his 15 and 15 was done, for 15 days I did not do my job in the military. They sent me to cut grass. So that was my first experience.
That was all because of a nigga.
Yeah. Now, go to brag, right? I busted my ass. I kept my head down. They made me wait 6 months to get from E1 to E2. Now, after that, it's normally about 6 months from 2 to 3, and then like a year from 3 to 4. In a year, I went from 2 to 3 to 4. Now, fast forward to a different duty station. I'm a good soldier, all right? I do my job, pretty much like everybody else, you know. You show me the job, I'll do the job. Leave me the fuck alone. Some white boy gets busted for underage drinking. My Command Sergeant Major walks in and is like, "Thornton gave you the beer, didn't he?" Yeah. That's the first time I ever actually almost said F it on my career.
So the white boy was telling the truth.
No, he was lying.
But you were mad because the black dude approached him.
My sergeant major walked in and immediately accused me.
Yeah.
The reason why I was mad is because
He was black though.
Yeah. The reason why I was mad is because I'd never spoken to this boy. And it's funny because I caught him one night when he was taking his trash out. I was like, "Let me holler at you right quick." I was like, "Hey man," I was like, do you know what my first name is?" "No." Have we ever hung out?" "No." "Okay. I don't even share alcohol with my roommate, who's actually one of my boys, and he's underage. Why the fuck would I tell you to grab a beer out of my motherfucking fridge when I don't even drink Reds?"
And don't, real quick, I just want to say, not to interrupt you like that, but it's just like, just because I've had experiences with black folks and you've had experiences with black folks that were just clearly disrespectful, it don't mean that we're squares. I want to get that, I just want to get that out there at all. Because I don't mind being a square right now that I'm 38 years old, you know what I mean? But back when all of this was going down and all this disrespectful stuff was going on, if anything, it was disappointing to me. Because we're supposed to be brothers. We're supposed to be family. But again, our people come from a different background as far as how we got here. And they'll hold on to racism